Hey everybody, Phoenix Eagle Heart here. I'm gonna start a new video series about primitive magic, and mostly in the series I'm gonna show you how to make things primitively that can be used in magic. Right now I'm gonna be making hide glue, which is made from animal hide. I don't have any animal hide around, so I went to the grocery store and bought rawhide dog chews, which will work just fine. Right now, we're just waiting on the water to come to a boil, and then we're going to add the rawhide into the boiling water. So I'm out in my garage. This here's the rawhide. I soaked it overnight to make it so it's easier to cut up into strips, because the finer the pieces, the more glue you're going to be able to extract from the hide itself. And here I have water getting heated up to a boil. The water's almost boiling right now, so I'm going to call it close enough. I'm going to start adding in the deer hide, or the rawhide. That will cool down the water quite a bit. I mean, I'm in my garage, so everything's pretty cold right now. As you can see, there's snow on my work table here. Ah, it's cold. Just put that right in. Alright, so that's in there. I'm going to give it a little stir. And I want to bring this up to a slow simmer. I don't want it boiling, because if you boil it, it starts to break down the collagen too fast, which will make it so that the glue won't work. The glue just won't work. Alright, and this whole process will take about an hour and a half. So once I get things going here, I'll bring you back. So I'm going to use this glue to glue together an envelope that I'm making that I need for a spell that I'm going to be performing. But you can use it for all sorts of things. You could use it to help bind arrows to a shaft to make an arrow for a bow. You can do all sorts of things with it. It's the only problem with it is once it comes in contact with water, it kind of just dissolves. So it's not waterproof. Your best bet for that would be to make pine pitch glue, which I'll show you how to do in an upcoming video. Just a side note, I want to go over the list of things that you need in order to make this glue. First off, you're going to need the hide, which I used rawhide, or if you have deer hide hanging around, if you're a hunter, you could use that as well. If you're going my route, turn this down a bit because it's starting to boil. If you're going the route I went and got the rawhide dog treats, you need to soak it overnight in cold water to loosen it up so it's easier to cut up into small pieces. So you need a container to do that in, and water. Now, the water that I use to soak the hide in, I'm also using right here to make the glue. So I didn't waste any water. I used the same exact water. You're going to need a heat source and a pan. You can use campfire. I just used a hot plate that I picked up at Walmart for like $14.95 or 90 something. After that, you need a stir, something to stir it with occasionally. Make sure everything's working smooth. And that's also going to be helpful to test your glue later to see if it's sticking. And finally, you're going to need a container to put your finished glue in, and a bandana or a cheesecloth or a coffee filter, anything to filter the glue into your jar. Short little observation here. This really smells horrible cooking, so I do recommend doing it outside. I'm glad I did. If I had to describe this smell, I would probably say it is a cross between a rotting orange and just like a dead mouse. Like if you have a mouse in a trap and you forget to check it and it's there for quite a while, that's what that smells like, with the rotten orange smell combined. Pretty bad. At least that's what I think. Ugh. Okay, this has been going for about 55 minutes now. It's starting to get sticky when I stir it around and then touch it to my finger. It sticks a little bit, but not as strong yet, so I don't think it's quite done. So I think it's going to have to go the full hour and a half. But at this point, I'm just going to keep watching it carefully, making sure it doesn't reduce too much where it burns. Okay, this is just about done. There's about 10 minutes left. You can see by the bubbles forming that this is getting pretty thick. I mean, it's not crazy thick, but it's about the consistency of warmed up maple syrup, maybe. Maybe a little bit more watery than that. But this is getting really close. It's also kind of like a tannish white color, the liquid is. Okay, so the glue is done. It's ready to be filtered. I got my filter set up here. It's just a glass jar underneath with the handkerchief or cheesecloth or whatever you're using. You put it tightly over the top and then make a little well in the center. Just like so. Then we're just going to take our pan. We're just slowly going to filter it through there. Just wait till it goes down. Add a little bit more as it goes down. Can probably watch it filter through a bit. Oh yeah, see? Okay, so we got the jar. It has the newly made glue in it. That's going to solidify up once it sets. And in a couple hours, I'll come back and show you what it looks like once it's set up and how to use it. And with your leftover hide, I'm not sure if you could do the process again with the same hide and see if you can get more glue out of it or not. I'm not going to try it because it's cold as hell out here. So I'm just gonna chuck them away. So yeah, I'll see you in a couple hours and find out what this looks like when it's solidified. Okay, so the glue is finished. It's in the jar. It's very solid. You can push it. It's gelatinous. To use it, we're just gonna apply a little heat to it in this beaker with this lighter. We're going to glue together this envelope that I made. I made the paper myself. In another video coming up, we'll discuss how to make paper. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is open up the jar and cut out some of the glue. It's almost like a very hard jello. Put that in the beaker. Cut out a little bit more because I'm not exactly sure how much we're going to need. Probably not a lot. Take that out, put that in there. out. And we're just gonna make this real quick. And it's already starting to move around, so we know it's melting. Almost there. And it's melted. Now I'm just gonna open up my envelope to glean the size. And then I'm just gonna apply a little bit like this. And working, I'm just gonna put it down like that. And just press it there for a minute. And then I'm just going to do the same with this next side over here. Just going to slide it down like so. And then I'm just going to put a book on top. Like this to press it flat. And I'll come back when that is done. Okay, so this has been pressing for quite a while. Just going to take the book off. I had to change the book because the other book wasn't heavy enough, I felt, so I changed it to this big ol' book here. Let's see. It's glued. It's not perfect, the glue job, but I think it's because the paper was so thick, and when I made the paper and dried it, it bent quite a lot because I didn't have it pressed properly. But yeah, it's a pretty brittle envelope, but it'll work well for what I'm going to use it for. It is glued. Can't spread the paper apart there. So that was how to make hide glue. I'm going to use it in the envelope. I used it on the envelope that I'm going to be using this spell. I just feel that all the components that you need in the spell should be handmade, because I feel like it makes it more powerful because you're adding more energy into the item that you're making, which is adding power to your spell, I feel. The next couple videos on primitive magic will be about paper making. There'll be another one about pine pitch glue, which is actually waterproof, so that works really well on certain aspects. I'm going to be doing one on flint knapping. I'll be showing you how to make a stone or obsidian athame with a bone or deer antler or something as the handle. And then there's going to be much, much more. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please share it, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm looking forward to putting out new videos soon. Thank you very much.